What's shaking, YouTube? Y'all know I'm Bacon. This is Calzax back on the mic. Caleb, a part of the Calzax family, guys. And today, I just want to tell you guys every single thing that you need to know in order to get started in Cyberpunk 2077. Guys, we are going to be going over quite a bit of the basic information when it comes to a lot of the systems that you're going to need to understand to properly play this game, guys. So this video should really get you a firm foothold in the world of Cyberpunk in Night City, guys. We at Calzax TV spent basically the entire last 24-hour period since Cyberpunk has come out streaming the game and playing it and getting to know it. So this is a lot of information that we've been able to take away from that. We are going to be putting out a lot of that gameplay from that day out on this channel, so look forward, if you want to see a lot of the game, look forward to checking that out. We're going to put out certain really cool missions as well as some of the intros that we played, and as well as continue to stream it in the future, guys. Before we get started, I just want to say we do stream on twitch.tv/CalzaxTV. As I've said, we've been playing Cyberpunk lately. We play Escape from Tarkov as well. In addition to that, just some other games. We are going to be spending a lot of time with Cyberpunk now, though, so check that out. Come hang out with us, guys. We would love to see you there. We have a Discord as well. Check that out. Link is in the description. We have a huge community that's really starting to grow. We have a mini games that people like to play in there, so definitely click that link below, hop in there. And if you guys enjoy this video, please consider dropping a like, dropping a sub for more guides and videos like this. We have plenty planned, whether it be for Cyberpunk, Escape from Tarkov, or future games even coming out like Elden Ring. We've got all that planned out. Check it out. But anyway, drop us a comment if you guys enjoyed this video and what you want to see about Cyberpunk. But that's all I'll say. Let's go ahead and hop into the actual guide. So the first thing that I want to start by talking about is basically what the game will present to you at the very beginning, that you'll want to know some stuff about beforehand. So let's go ahead and jump into that. The first one will be the character background. So you're going to have the choice of either going with Nomad, with Street Kid, or with Corpo as your background. There's three different options. You can start out in the countryside as a Nomad, basically outside of Night City, and having to make your way in. You can start out on the streets in kind of the gangs, in the gang world, at least in there. Pretty interesting. Or start in the corporation world, this dystopian sort of futuristic, steampunked out corporation on top, dominating the economy over there, these massive buildings. So you really have some interesting choices. These all do link up to the same story eventually, but they do enable interesting dialogue options throughout, so it's not going to fundamentally change your experience with the story, but you will have some options, as I said, to change the dynamic of the story throughout. Next up, we have your character creation, guys. You'll be able to check this out on your own time. This is really up to you. But I did want to just show you that they have a lot of different options in here. Some might even say you get a little too much customization towards the bottom end of this little customizing bar. They've got some options that I just really haven't seen in other RPGs. They've taken it to a whole nother level. But I'll let you guys check that on your own time. Just know you can change your tattoos, your hair, your different cybernetic mods on your face and stuff. It's really interesting, guys. But then after that is where we get into more of the RPG elements, and we get into the character skills. Now there are 5 main skills in this game that are all unique, and they even have special perk trees underneath each skill. I'll go ahead and touch on the basics of what they are as well as their related perks. But if you guys want us to go into further details about skills and perks, drop a comment, because I think that is kind of its own videos. There's a lot to these. I don't have time to go over all of them in this video, but I will give you a basic fundamental understanding so you know what you're choosing when you're making your character. Okay, so body. Let's talk a little bit about that. This is essentially your strength. It ups your health points, your stamina, your fist damage, basically how your raw physical power is. You also need this to wield weapons like LMGs and powerful shotguns, those heavier guns. Body is your way to go. As for perk trees underneath the body, we have our athletics, which is basically your raw physical abilities, and annihilation, which correlates to kind of shotguns and LMGs and just destruction. The next skill we'll talk about is intelligence. This increases net running and hacking abilities. It also increases your cyberdeck RAM capacity and quick hack efficiency. These are pretty unique additions to the game. You'll have to learn more about the hacking system, which could be a video of its own. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to see more about it. But anyway, the perk trees underneath intelligence are the breach protocol tree, which is essentially breaking down enemy defenses, and the quick hacking, which relates to offensive hacks and damage dealing hacks. Next up we have reflexes. This increases your movement speed, dodge, and your crit chance. The perk trees underneath this one are assault, which essentially relates to rifle damage and crit chances for that. Maybe your SMG your SMGs, your assault rifles, and then you've got the handguns tree, which is pistol damages and crit chances for that. Things like just additions to the handguns, and then your blades, which is very similar to the first two, just for blades. Next, we have the technical ability. This relates to unlocking doors and using tech weapons. It also increases your armor with each level. The perk trees underneath that are crafting, which relates to the end menu crafting. You'll be able to do it once you get further into the game, past kind of the intro and stuff. There's tons of junk to pick up in the game, items that you can disassemble, things like that, and you'll be able to craft weapons and mods, I believe, which is pretty interesting. And then engineering, which relates to the smart tech weapon abilities, as well as grenades. Cool is the last one, and this is a stealth-oriented skill. Increases your critical damage and resistances, and it unlocks some special dialogue options as well. Perk trees underneath this are stealth, which is basically what it sounds like, increasing your stealth with perks and abilities. And cold blood, which is kind of an interesting, I think you have to activate the cold blood mode, and then you'll get a variety of different resistances and cold blood upgrades based on what perks you choose. Okay, the next thing and everything you need to know to get started in Cyberpunk 2077 is using the map. There are a lot of side missions available right once free roam opens up, so once you get through your little introductory, whatever you chose out of all the backgrounds, once this opens up, you'll quickly realize you do not need to focus on the main story. In fact, if you do, you might blow through a lot of the other side quests and stuff. So if you check out your map, you can see all these quests and different locations you can go check out, and it's basically all open from the beginning. And in your journal and on the map, you can see different difficulty for certain quests. Some are going to be really high danger, it'll say. Some are moderate, things like that. So you might want to go to the lower danger stuff first. There are also a lot of weapon shops around the area where you can buy new weapons, and these are especially good for like getting new ammo, which I found myself needing a lot in between missions. I'd just drive by, refill my ammo. Also good for getting like grenades and just a little bit of meds, stuff like that. But I found myself having to go here especially for that ammo, like I said, all the time. There are also these medical shops that are around that sell a lot more types of inhaler things and meds like that. So I'd check those out if you are in need of a stim. You're having to heal a lot. Go re-up your supplies at those. There's also these drop boxes. I believe that's what they're called, but they're essentially just these little square-looking things on the map. And you can drive right up to them, and you can sell a lot of your items. This is just really to release the carry weight, because you're going to be doing missions, picking stuff up, and I found myself filling my inventory up fairly often, so I'd like to drive between these in between missions and just sell all my items. And so you also have your car. This is separate from the map, but your car is basically how you get around Night City. You can press V to call, and it'll come up sort of like the Witcher horse system. Every time you press V, it actually honks, turns on the lights, so it's pretty easy to find. You can store things in your trunk in the stash in there, guys. It's pretty useful just to offload if you're over encumbered or close to it. I would recommend you just sell generally, but you do have some extra stuff if you get weapons that have a higher requirement than you, like a level requirement than you actually are at, and you want to save them. You can do that sort of stuff without having to hold on to them. And you can upgrade and change your car later in the story, so just don't think you're stuck with the one car that you have. So that is most of the systems that I want to talk about, but now I just want to go into some extra tips to get you started in this game. You can actually slide in this game in a very similar way to how you could in Black Ops. If you're sprinting and you just press the C, which is on keyboard, or just the crouch button, essentially, you will slide. You can use this to move between cover, get right behind cover faster. It's pretty useful. You can actually also peek over and around cover by just moving close to the cover and aiming down your sights, scanning, or holding down a grenade throw. It's very, very useful, so you can still be covered up, peek out real quick, get your shots off, peek above, put a nade out there real fast, and stay behind cover. I was playing on a much harder difficulty. I was playing on very hard, so this was actually very, very essential to even playing on the difficulty, because I can't take very many shots. I have to be careful about my using cover. You can also dodge in this game. On keyboard, it's actually done by double tapping a movement key. On controller, I believe you hit the B or the circle. You double tap it as well as move the left thumbstick and you'll dodge in that direction, to my understanding, but I've been playing on PC so I can't completely confirm that. The next thing is save often, guys. The current state of this Cyberpunk game is quite buggy right now, so you'll never know when you'll need to load an older save. I didn't have too many game-breaking saves. I did have a time in my first playthrough that I was doing where I did have to load an old save because I was actually stuck. Something that I needed fell through the map, which is pretty funny how it happened. I didn't have to go back very far though because I had saved pretty recently. The game does decently at auto-saving, so hopefully that will be okay for you guys, but just in case, I recommend you make your own. The next thing, if you are a streamer, guys, in the settings you have a no copyright music option that you can turn on. I recommend you have this on. I did. If you are streaming, you don't want to get those DMCA mutes and stuff and issues, so that's just a good way you can avoid that. They originally, when they said the game came out, said that there was a bug in that, actually though, at the brain dance, the first brain dance scene, to where it wasn't blocking out what it was supposed to, but I think they actually fixed that in the day one patch, so that should be good, guys. And last thing here, if you are running on a higher resolution, maybe like 1440p or a 4K monitor, I recommend you try turning on DLSS in your graphics settings, because it looks really similar to a standard rendered graphics, like rendering at 1440p or 4K or whatever it might be. Just usually looks, well, I mean, as good as that looks, the DLSS actually looks very, very similar, very close to that, but it might give you a performance boost, guys. So that's the reason I would recommend it. It doesn't look that different. Essentially, just on the whole, what the difference is DLSS is an AI attempting to predict what each extra, it takes a 1080p, for example, or something like that picture, and it essentially scales it up to 1440p and so on and so forth by an AI predicting what the picture is supposed to look like basically connecting the dots, the pixels together. That's my understanding of DLSS, and it actually looks just fine. It looks great, guys, but I was noticing that I was getting some performance boosts when I was trying that out. Maybe in the future we'll put out an actual full graphics guide just to let you guys know what's best, but right now I haven't been able to quite figure that out. I wanted to get this guide out to you guys. So again, that is pretty much going to do it for the tips that we have. I really hope this gets you a solid standing in this game, just gets you off the ground, basically gets you through the phases of what is going on, what do I need to be doing, what are these systems. But essentially, let us know in the comments what else you guys want to see. If you want something explained more in depth, if you want to see a certain guide on something else. And again, we will be streaming this game a lot on twitch.tv/CalzaxTV. Come join us. We have a lot up already. If you want to just check out some gameplay, we're going to be posting individual videos of the playthroughs, as well as have the live recording still up on our YouTube, so you can go back and watch that whole 14-hour stream that we started with, guys. It's totally up to you. Just let us know. We're going to get that gameplay out to you. Man, is it a new era, the Cyberpunk era. Hopefully they get those bug fixes out sometime soon, on certain things. Just start working on that. That'd be my hope. But with that, I will leave you guys. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. If it helped you out, drop a sub for the future guides that are coming out. And thank you so much for spending your time with us. We love your faces. And until next time, guys.